Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at July 2023 individual forecast for each life path number. Before we get into that, though, I do want to announce that I have a new service available on my website. It's called the Diamond Forecast. And just to kind of give you a quick overview of what this is, I'm actually very excited to be able to offer this. The diamond is considered to be one of the most powerful and beneficial tools in numerology, and it's the absolute perfect companion to the year ahead forecast, which I know many of you are very familiar with. So the diamond forecast takes a deep dive into the very specific numerology transits that you're meant to be moving through at any given age. So unless instructed otherwise at the time of booking, then I would be looking specifically at your current age through the course of a year, birthday to birthday. Now, this report breaks down basically your cosmic challenge or divine quest, guiding you on your higher spiritual path throughout that year. So we'll look at, again, the cosmic challenge, the root or the predominant catalyst that will likely create a particular chain of events or create some kind of cause and effect within that year. We also look at the action key, which is how you're meant to respond to and work with that energy for the best results. And then finally, we would look at the higher and the lower vibrational potential outcome or probable results of that year-long quest. Okay, so just to kind of give you an idea, I ran my own report for my current age, and as usual, it is fascinating how incredibly accurate and on point it has been so far. So you can find an example of that report, page for page, on my website under the Diamond Forecast. And you can purchase it there if you choose to. Again, I highly recommend this report. And I also, of course, recommend the personal year ahead forecast and getting them together for the most in-depth insight. You can also purchase both if that's something you want to do at a discounted rate. And again, you can find that on my website. The link is in the description box below. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at each individual life path for July 2023. 22-4. So I pulled an animal wisdom message for you all for July, and you got alligator energy. And so what I love about this is the big thing that came in for this was coming up for air. All right. So especially with 22-4 energy, it can be sometimes that the 22-4 is the workaholic or very hyper focused on something and very invested in it and sort of lose sight of their own needs and what, of like rest and rejuvenation and again, what they need in order to thrive. They're so focused on the goal or the other person and what they need or whatever the case may be. And so with alligator energy coming in this month, I sort of love that because, again, it's about coming up for air, right? Like just resting for a moment. Like if you ever think about like alligators when they're just like sitting on the top of the water with their little eyes and their nose sticking out and they're just observing and they're just resting and they're coming up for air. And I think that there's something to be said for you all this month about doing that and not being afraid to do that and not apologizing for it. And the observation point of it as well. So being the observer, sort of stepping back, being the observer, seeing where the disconnect is, and then coming in with a solution or figuring out how to bring the connection about, right? Because when we can observe, which that is 22 energy, when we can be, you have double twos there. When we can be the observer and see where the disconnect is, then we often will have very surprising insights and we can come in and with the solution and help bring harmony, help bring balance, help bring people together or the situation together. And there's sort of this need for not being too involved, right? And so a lot of times with 4 energy, we can be sort of hyper focused on the details and very immersed in whatever it is. And so there's really something here with alligator coming through where it's like not only about the rest and coming up for air, breathing through whatever you need to breathe through, rest and rejuvenation, but there's also something very strong coming through about the observation, standing back, not being too sort of attached or immersed in the situation, but being the observer. And from that vantage point, from that broader lens, you'll be able to see where the disconnect is, and then you can come in with a solution after, collaborating and working with others to figure that out, right? 22 energy, 2s, collaboration, working together. So for you all, for the month of July, you're working with 27-9 energy. So there's definitely something here where you could have profound insights coming in. So you got this energy of the 7, very strong here. So there could be like deeper insights or the truth of something coming out around relationships, right? Or partnerships in some way, because you got the energy of the 2 there as well, 27-9. That coupled with the energy of the 9 is also bringing in completions, things closing out, things coming to completion, to fruition. So you may see some things around relationships or like truths coming out that create some kind of closure or completion. So if there's anything that you've been sort of trying to investigate further or trying to get further answers on, especially that it has to do with relationships or people, you may find that comes in now this month. And then of course you'll have to figure out what to do with it. But because that 9 energy is there, there's probably going to be some kind of something coming in around, again, completion, closure, release, closing out a cycle. Okay. So a new cycle can begin type thing. It's also possible with the 27-9 energy that new insights come in, right? Remember we talked about with alligator energy, sort of just pausing, resting, being the observer, and not being too overly immersed in the situation to where you're missing the bigger picture. So it could be that in this sort of mode of receptivity, which is 9 energy, something comes to you during this pause, during this sort of break, that is very profound or very insightful, or is a new relationship or a new connection that sort of hits you to your core and is something or someone that will probably be in your life for a while, potentially. It's not uncommon for in 9 cycles to meet a very significant person who will be in your life for a long time, whether that's a romantic partner, a business partner, a friend, a colleague, something like that. That's very possible under a 9 cycle as well. So, but it's about them coming to you, right? So, that receptivity is key this month. But definitely this is a month for cycles closing out, for finishing up projects, for tying up loose ends, for clearing the clutter, for clearing the plate so that new things can come in, right? Or so that you can pause, so that you can sort of take a breather and observe. So this is not necessarily a strong action-oriented month for you all, or not meant to be. Not a lot of big starts or big initiations, but this could be a month for planning, right? And 22/4s are typically very good at planning. So this can be a great month for deep, profound insights to come in, and you can have the bigger vision. And this is a great month for putting pen to paper and coming up with a plan, with the action plan, because next month will be a 1 cycle for you all, and you'll be able to implement and hit the ground running and go for it. So this is a great month for planning, for getting your ducks in a row, so to speak, and coming up with a method of how you want to move forward while observing, right? Like while taking it all in. So this is very much a more softer energy this month for you all, where again, it's not really like forcing anything or being overly ambitious or, having that intense drive. It's really more about you've done a lot of the work. So now pause, breathe, observe, see what comes together and see what still there's some disconnect and needs some additional layers or additional work. And then you can dive into the details and into the action mode next month, right? Now, of course, if life presents you with something you have to take action on, I'm not telling you not to do that. Obviously, follow your own insights and your own intuition. But, with 9 energy, it's usually things closing out, new big insights coming in, planning for the next steps, and then next month would be a more action-oriented month. So anywhere that you can pause and take a break and become the observer, I would say it's going to serve you greatly this month. And also this can be a month of rewards coming in. So remember, you've put in the effort. Now the rewards are coming in from that effort. So take the time to appreciate that. Take the time to celebrate. You've done the work. You've put in the effort. You earned whatever this is. So enjoy it, right? You don't have to go right to the next thing right away. So definitely honor everything that you've done up to this point. So I hope it's a fruitful, wonderful month for you all, 22 fours. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.